60 million Cunha deal and 60 million Gyokeres deal. The prices have been revealed. 120 million to shape Manchester United's attack. Ruben Amorim wants two attackers at least to come in the transfer, one being a striker. We know he doesn't rate the current crop of United strikers. Ruben Amorim speaks on transfers, the plans, the attacking situation at United. We've got some updates on transfer news with Gyokeres, Cunha, Harry Kane and more. There's updates on Quenda, the wingback situation. What is the latest in regards to injuries? Could Dorgu and Heaven make a debut tomorrow? Well, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news roundup, where we're going to round up all the news coming out this evening into a 10-minute video for you guys. So if you do enjoy, please do hit that like button, and of course, subscribe down below if you're new. So it's been revealed that Manchester United target Matheus Cunha has a new release clause worth £62 million, which I don't think is a bad price. I'd probably push for £55 million deal, but if you've got to spend a bit more, you've got to spend a bit more. He is exactly what we need. If we're going to sell Garnacho for 70 million and replace him with this guy for 62 million, it's not a bad deal. We spent 55 million on Mason Mount. Kai Havertz went for the same price. I think 62 million release clause in Matheus Cunha is a reasonable fee, but I would be looking to get him for just under 60 million if I was Manchester United. Now, what we do know about Cunha is he's definitely a target. United really like him because the system he played in at Wolves, he was a left 10. It wasn't like a winger, he was a left 10. The system suits him perfectly. United looked at signing him last summer, and they also looked at signing him the summer when Ten Hag first came in. If they hadn't spent all that money on Anthony, they might have actually signed him because Ten Hag wanted a number 9, and Cunha was one that they watched just before summer 2022. We know that United had a long-standing interest in the player. The player was flirting with joining United last summer. There is something there. We know that Amorim is open to this deal. This is someone that suits Amorim's system, and this is definitely one to watch in the summer. The big problem is we've been crap this season. A lot of much better clubs who've had much better seasons will also be in for him, and it's can we win that competition to get him? If we win the Europa League, we get back in the Champions League and we can sell the project of this is Ruben Amorim's project, we're going to spend big. I think potentially yes. Now, a player that could work is also Victor Gyokeres, because Cunha left 10, Ahmed right 10, and Victor Gyokeres as the striker is a very good front three. And it was said that Manchester United are planning to make a move for Sporting's Victor Gyokeres again in the summer window. Sporting CP will lower their price for the striker Victor Gyokeres in the summer transfer window to 60 million. Now, I read somewhere he has a £58 million release clause for clubs like Manchester United and Barcelona or something like that. And this has come from Cunha. I wouldn't say he's a tier 1 source of information, but what I will say is we know from many sources of information there's an interest in Victor Gyokeres. Now, is there an interest in Victor Gyokeres, or is every source of information writing a story that we're interested in Victor Gyokeres because we really need a striker? Victor Gyokeres is a really top striker and he played under Ruben Amorim. It could be the second one, but we know from Laurie Whitwell, a very credible source of information, United are looking at signing a striker. We know that United are looking at bringing him to attackers, and for me, for 120 million, Cunha and Gyokeres is the perfect rebuild. Ahmed on the right, Cunha on the left, Gyokeres up top. That, for me, is the perfect attacking rebuild. Maino can always play as a 10 if need be. Let's assume Garnacho, Rashford and Antony sold. If, potentially there could be another attacking reinforcement in there, like an Buemo or someone. That is how you rebuild the attack. So let's dive into more, because it was said by Laurie Whitwell regarding the financial situation for the transfer window. It is expected that there will be more room for spending once the first PSR campaign ends in June. The funds will still be tight. So that's 30th of June, we have funds to spend. He said it could be tight, but there's funds to spend. If Malacia does well on loan, Anthony does well on loan, and Rashford does well on loan, and we get those three out the door, we somehow can get Casemiro out the door. Sancho will be gone as well, and we get that 25 million for Sancho. I think we'll have a bit more flexibility to spend a bit of money, and I think potentially Garnacho could go. It depends what we see from Garnacho between now and the end of the season, the decision Amorim makes. And if Garnacho and Rashford go, then the funds do not become tight. But I think a lot of it and what we can spend depends on, in sense of what happens in the summer, what happens between now and the summer in terms of how well the loan moves go. But there will be room there. Man United is saying that they're not going to spend, they didn't spend in January to give them a bit more freedom in the summer, then they can get the targets that they actually want. For me, I think that we could spend 120 million on Cunha and Gyokeres. I think we could drop another 30 million on the second wing back, which takes us to 150 million. And I think we could drop 40 million on the centre back and 20 million on another midfielder, because I think that Rashford will go, Anthony will go, Malacia will go, Eriksen will go, maybe Luke Shaw will go, maybe Mason Mount will go, one of the strikers will go. I think there's going to be a huge kill out that's going to give us the funds to do that. But it was said that there'll be room for spending in July by Laurie Whitwell. Now, Ruben Amorim made it clear to Jason Wilcox, to Graham Bailey, that said he wanted a striker. It was also said that signing a striker, it was just as important as bringing in wingbacks Ruben Amorim. We know that Quenda looks set to be the second signing under Ruben Amorim, and then a striker will be the third. But Quenda could be pre-done before the summer. Then the striker, when the PSR deadline passes, could be the first signing in July. It was said that Amorim is looking to sell one of the current strikers and wants 2 attacking additions, one left-hand to replace Rashford and another striker, as he's not yet fully convinced by Xerxes or Højlund. I think one of Xerxes and Højlund will go. I think Rashford will go. I think Antony will go. Potentially even Garnacho goes. And I think there could be 2 to 3 attacking additions. But I think it's very clear that Ruben Amorim wants someone that he believes can play left-hand to challenge Garnacho. And even if there's an injury, someone that could cover Ahmad's spot as well. And, of course, the striker to really push Xerxes and Højlund, because when he's playing Maino striker, you know he doesn't rate Xerxes and Højlund. Ruben Amorim also said this. He said, like I said, we're being really careful with transfers because of mistakes in the past, basically saying we're not going to bring people in for the sake of it and do panic buys. We want to just make sure like whoever we get in the position is the right profile, the right player, which is fair enough, but we should have brought in another body in attack. I'd like Gyokeres. I like Quenda. I still think you could get Gyokeres in and move Dorgu to right wing back. Quenda could come in, but I think he's so young and raw. I'm happy for young and raw wingbacks, but I think in striker we need more experience. He says we have to find players in different positions. I think Ahmad can score more, Bruno can score more, even Kobe can score more in that area of the pitch, so we have to improve as a team. He doesn't say Højlund or Xerxes can score more. Is that because like he doesn't rate them, he doesn't see them scoring lots of goals? Who knows? But a lot of people are saying, he does not really. It sounds like Ruben Amorim doesn't rate Xerxes or Højlund. He played Maino striker. He's not giving one of those strikers consistent minutes to get a run in. Ruben Amorim was asked about the quality of players in attack, and he said we have to find players to play in different positions. You can see the way we play; it's going to take time and not solve all the problems. We have many shots inside the box, and catch one player. And he's basically saying, obviously we need to improve in attack. We've got to find the right players. We've got to play our current players in different positions and just see the dynamics and what works. I think we could see Maino left 10, Ahmad right 10, and Højlund up top next game. I will do a live stream tomorrow to talk about the Leicester game, so stay tuned for that. He was also asked about the latest on injuries in his press conference earlier today. Obviously, Luch is out, difficult situation for the rest of the season, probably going into September, October. And he said Luke Shaw, there's a small issue, but it's a different area from the last injury. They're just trying to be really careful with Luke Shaw. Luke breadstick legs, Mason Mount breadstick legs. It's such a shame because I think both of those players could actually contribute quite a bit to United if fit, because they're good players, but the injuries just, you have to get rid of them because of these injuries. I know it's not their fault. I know they're good players, but with the injuries they have, we have to get rid of those two in the summer. So Ruben Amorim was then asked, well, could Dorgu or Heaven play? If you've got no Martinez, you've got no Shaw, you're very thin. He said, we'll see. You guys have to wait until tomorrow, but they're ready to play, and there are 2 more solutions in this moment. I think Dorgu plays. I think Heaven's on the bench. If I was going to do my prediction, there's also rumours that Obi or Chido will be on the bench tomorrow. He was also asked about Rashford, and he said, Marcus is in Birmingham now with Unai Emery, so you can take these questions to Birmingham to another coach. Perfect answer from Ruben Amorim. I knew they were. I said today to myself, actually, it wasn't in the video. I said, I bet they're going to ask about Marcus Rashford in the press conference, even though he's left the club. And I bet if they're asked about Marcus Rashford every press conference, even though he's not at the club. But Marcus Rashford is in Birmingham. We don't need to talk about him. Continuing on, Ruben Amorim is interested in Quenda. He seeks a second wing back. Sporting's asking price is 50 million. Quenda's been offered to Europe's elite clubs. Duncan Castles has really good. Gets really good information when it comes to George Mendes clients. And I don't know if Quenda's a George Mendes client, but we know Amorim is. When it comes to players that are George Mendes clients, which was Ronaldo in the past, which was Ugarte, Duncan Castles is normally the swoop for the news. He's very reliable with that stuff. Now, Ornstein is saying United are looking at a €40 million deal, which is about £33 million. Sporting's asking price is 50 million. I think a deal gets done for Quenda around 30 million base, coming to 40 million add-ons. If it's more than 40 million, I'd probably walk away because he's great. He's a young player, he's one for the future, very talented player. But I don't want to spend 50 million on a 17-year-old. I want there to be, I think we need ready-made players. I don't mind spending 50 million on a 25-year-old or 26-year-old Mateus Cunha or an Mbuemo. I want someone that's ready now. But I do like the player and we do need him, and I think he'd be really good profile-wise. Sergeant Ratcliffe would love for United to sign Harry Kane. I think for me, as I said earlier, if you can get Harry Kane for like 40 million on a 3-year deal on low wages and he stays fit, it's probably a good addition. But I like Harry Kane. I wouldn't be upset if we signed him, but I think it's against the way that INEOS want to go. We need young players, lower wages, not injury prone. But at striker, we definitely need a bit of experience. So that is all your Manchester United news rounded up into a 10-minute video, just diving through all the transfer news. Let me know your thoughts down below. What's your perfect attacking rebuild? But I think 120 million, spend it on Cunha, spend it on Gyokeres, is a master plan. Thank you for watching. Bye.